Welcome to another episode of Garage King PH. Today, we have another brand that is making a debut on the channel, and it is possibly the oldest motorcycle company that has been founded in Italy, and it is the BENELLI. The brand has a rich history from its foundation back in 1911 thanks to the BENELLI family, namely sila Giuseppe, Giovanni, Francesco, Filippo, Domenico, and the fast boy Tonino BENELLI in Pesaro, Italy. Nasabi ko na fast boy kasi siya yung nananalo sa mga karera gamit ang BENELLI motorcycles, and he cemented a legacy for the brand. Fast forward to today, the company is parented by Jiang, a Chinese company, and these bikes from BENELLI that you can buy today is assembled here in the country, the Philippines. Nakakatuwa na Pinoy made ang mga ito, and the build, I can say, is up to par sa mga motorsiklo na binuo sa Europa. Nakakatuwa dahil dito sa video na ito, we have been given the chance by Archway Motorcycles, a BENELLI dealer, to experience the TRK 502X. And this early in the video, let me tell you that this bike is probably at the top tier kung ang pag-uusapan ay best in value big bikes that you can buy today. This is BENELLI's top seller model, if I'm not mistaken, folks. And with the time that I had with it, well, it is not hard to see why. With its starting price of 379,000, you get an adventure bike that can go toe-to-toe with the much more expensive and with bigger power plant bikes out there in terms of the functionality. And hey, it's assembled here in the Philippines. Noipi ang nagbuo ng mga yan. And with that said, let's go ahead and have a walk around the bike and see what you'd get from this very nice adventure bike. So folks, there you go. The BENELLI TRK 502X. Ang laki, no? Bigyan ko lang kayo ng view on its frontal area, of course, bilang adventure bike. Protektado ka sa hangin sa mga expressway. Pagka malayo ang touring, hindi nakakapagod dahil hindi ka salubong ng salubong sa hangin. And this also protects your hand from the wind blast. At hindi lang siya basta protection sa wind blast. Ito yung hinahanap ko sa ibang adventure bike, which is the metal plate or the metal backbone, para pagka nag-tip over naman yung bike, di naman siya wasak agad, di ba? May protection. So dual purpose, it protects your hand from the wind blast, basta from the weather. Tapos pagka nag-tip over, hindi rin basta-basta mababali yung mga lever mo kasi may metal backbone siya. And this bike, of course, is assembled here in the Philippines. Nasa Carmona, Cavite ang planta nitong BENELLI na to. If you buy this, not only that you're supporting Archway Motorcycles, yan, the dealer, the link para sa mga page ng Archway ay nasa description natin. Yun, so pag bumili ka nito, not only that you're supporting Archway Motorcycles, but also you're helping create jobs for fellow Filipinos. Kasi nandito nga yung assembly nila. Ayan, ang age-old na BENELLI logo. Siyempre, may leon. Diyan yung, kumbaga, yan yung identity ng BENELLI. BENELLI, tulad ng na-mention ko sa intro, isa yan sa pinakamatanda, if not pinakamatandang factory ng motor na nanggaling sa Italy. While the TRK is fairly new in the market, yung ibang modelo nila, mula noon hanggang ngayon buhay pa, such as the Leoncino. I hope someday ma-review natin yan. TRK 502X. It's worth noting na may X tong modelong to dahil ito yung touring bike or adventure bike na off-road oriented. Kung nakikita natin, naka 19-inch na spoked wheel, wired wheel sa harap, tapos sa likod naman 17-inch na ganun din, wire wheel din. Bakit ganito pagka off-road oriented? Okay? Ang explanation dyan, dahil pag nag-off-road ka na bengkong yan, may repair. Unlike for cast wheels, yung mga alloy na mugs, pag nabengkong yun, wala na. Hirap na i-repair nun. Most likely, palit na. Sambung wheel set. Malas. Ito pa ang kinaiba nito dun sa road-oriented na modelo. Skid plate over there para maprotektahan yung mga underpinnings na syempre you don't want to hit with rocks or whatever sa ilalim ng motor. It is also equipped with this Metzeler Tourans na yung gulong. Makapit, actually it's confidence inspiring kung nakita nyo sa mga shots natin. Bumabangking-banking tayo dito sa napakagandang kalye na to dito sa Talisay. Talisay ba to? I don't know. I don't even know where I am. Basta nag-ride lang ako papunta dito. So Napakaganda niya yung pang-banking sa mga ganyang klaseng kalye. In good hands, sa mga mas malulupit pang rider, kayang-kaya pa nilang i-banking ng mas sagad yan. Kasi it's really confidence inspiring, well balanced, ang komportable ng upo mo doon. All the ergonomics are, you know, confidence inspiring. Kaya kahit ang laki-laki niya, sarap niya i-lean. Hindi siya naiiba dun sa mga sobrang mamahalin na adventure touring motorcycle such as the BMW GS, Ducati Multistrada. Ganun na ganun yung seating position, but of course, not that expensive. At sa totoo lang, what those bikes can do, this thing could keep up toe to toe. Actually, may mga sinabayan akong GS. Okay naman, nakakasabay siya kung anong kayang gawin ng mga motor na yun. Kaya din ito. Maybe bitin sa speed, maybe bitin sa torque, because of course, it's a 502 engine. But yeah, ang tipid naman yun sa touring, malayo yung range mo sa capacity ng tangke na yan, which the capacity is right here. Yan ang range at capacity na tong tangke na to. And speaking of the engine, that's the 502 unit. Twin cylinder of course, nakita naman natin dalawa yung pipe, but the sound, man, it sounds like an inline 4, inline 3 even, parang ganun. At ang engine na yan, well, it's mounted on this trellis frame na may subframe. That's why, you know, it's well balanced. It's hanging low on the bike. Yung timbang niya, most is down there. Medyo nagkakaroon na lang ng top heavy na sensation pagka full tank ka kasi malaki-laki yung tanke nito. And of course, it's high above. At yung ibang components din yan, matataas. Syempre, adventure bike yan. Benelli expects that you'd take this off-road kaya yung intake niyan ay mataas. This parallel twin that sounds oh so macho is courtesy of this 8-valve, meaning 4 on each cylinder with double overhead cams and high revving punch. Screamer siya, and the bulk of the torque develops from the mid-range of the RPM all the way to the top. All these performance advantages, and it is not emitting a lot of heat onto your legs. Those things said, I think that sets it apart from other parallel twins that you can buy out there. And that pillion seat is what I'd like to talk about next. Pakita lang natin yung Benelli na nakaukit sa kanyang leather seat, right? Napansin nyo ba mga chong kung gaano kalapad yung pillion seat? Yung commander mo, kung sino man angkas mo, sigurado tuwan-tuwa dito. Ang komportable, lagyan mo lang to ng top box, may sandalan na sila. Tatagal ka talaga, long range touring. Kasahan mo lang to ng top box dyan, which I think Spike is putting a top box here kasi may abang na dito. So, top box, komportableng upuan, ang lambot, tatagal ka talaga dito, long range touring. For you, the rider, yan ang upuan mo. I believe this is the low seat. May ginawa na sila dyan para bumaba. But the stock seat, it's much comfortable than that kasi of course, medyo mas mataba yung foam nun, mas malambot pa. But the downside, for most Filipinos, kailangan yung mababang upuan na ganyan kasi medyo mataas yung stance niya, mataas ang ground clearance, right? And the seat height. Ganito sumakay ng adventure bike kung medyo nahihirapan ka mag-swing ng leg. Tungtungan mo yan, di naman tutumba basta-basta yan. And there. Ayan ang makikita mo pag nakasakay ka dito. So, the windscreen of course, yung hangin dinidirect niyan papunta sa taas ng ulo mo. So, iwas na iwas ang hangin sa ulo mo. Except of course, pagka matangkad ka ako, medyo inaabot yung ulo ko, but it's in a comfortable position. Cruising on this bike, 100 kilometers per hour. Kung minsan pag-overtake ka, abot ka ng 120. Komportable, you're on a bubble of clean air. Pocket of clean air of course, dahil dito sa mga to. At bilang nakaupo na rin tayo dito, okay, pakikita ko na rin sa inyong hand controls. That's the kill switch over there. Siyempre, EFI ito. Pagka nilagay mo sa on position, may whistle, which is the fuel pump priming the fuel line. Hazard. Of course, pagka binuksan mo yan, dalawang turn signal, magkabila left and right, ay gagana. Starter button. For a stock pipe, you know, that sounds good. Yung huni niya parang inline 4 or parang inline 3. Ang ganda. Stock yan. On to the left hand side, ito ang high beam at low beam. Diyan mo makokontrol yan. Which, by the way, once you turn this bike on, DRL tayo. Nakabukas ang headlight agad. Passing light and busina. And now we've come to the point wherein I discussed the clever features of this bike. Ito blankong switch to. Because Benelli, have put those bars over there. Yan ang responsible sa ating mga crazy shots about the wheel, yung mga nakita nyo kanina. Nilagyan din nila ng mga blankong switch magkabila because those bars, ina-expect nila ay lalagyan yan ng auxiliary lights ng mga owners nito. Kasi syempre pag nagtutour ka sa mga probinsya, minsan sobrang dilim, kailangan mo yon. At hindi na rin nila pinahirapan ng pagpatay ng ABS. Of course, this bike is capable off-road. So alam nila at some point kailangan mo patayin yung ABS mo para mas makontrol mo tong bike na to off-road. So they've put this. Wala nang complicated sequence kung paano patayin yung ABS. Pindutin mo lang yan, 5 seconds I think, and the ABS would turn off. On this bike, we're using a cable clutch. And kung minsan pagka pumipiga ka dyan, sobrang alikabok o kaya umuulan, elements are going inside the cable. So to mitigate that, naglagay ng ganitong Benelli. So kinoberan nila para kahit nakadiin ka dun sa clutch, wala masyadong elements na nakakapasok dun sa lining ng cable, which is actually clever. Napansin ko agad. Sabi ko parang bihira ako makakita ng ganito. Those things said, I think that sets it apart from other parallel twins that you can buy out there. Now, we've come to the part where I will tell you about the pros and cons. And on this bike, unahin natin ang cons since there's just a few compared to the pros that you'd get from it. Una siguro, stronger brakes. I mean, the brakes on these are not bad at all. But for a big adventure bike wherein you'd be inspired to take on a lot of mileage out of this thing, at some point, baka with your significant other pa on board, well, you'd want something with a little bit more substance pagdating sa braking department. Again, not bad brakes, but for this particular model, sana lang medyo mas malakas pa. Sana rin meron ditong cruise control dahil sa mga long rides, perfect na yung seating position eh. May time lang na nakakangawit mag-twist ng throttle all the time for hours. I also wish that there is an option to adjust the windshield. Dahil malaki ang unahan ng bike na ito. Sa traffic, minsan mas okay na naibababa ang windshield to allow airflow onto the rider's body. These things that I'm asking here are great to add on the bike. Benelli for sure is capable in putting these. But we have to remember that these things could very well increase the price that is very good as it is right now. Tataas yan pag lahat ng bells and whistles ay inilagay nila dito, folks. With that said, let's move on swiftly to the pros. Una dyan, syempre ang pricing. A full-on adventure bike that is highly capable and well-built for 379,000 pesos, that is one heck of a competitive price. Mahihirapan ng mga kalaban na tapatan yan. Plus, that it is assembled here in the country is a huge plus point for me because it creates jobs for our kababayans. And this level of quality, I can say is very good and up to par sa mga inassemble sa ibang bansa. Another one on the pros would be the future-proofing of the bike. Benelli knows what an adventure rider would put here. Kaya nilagyan nila ng blank switches for the accessories in the future like aux light and etc. Long ride ready na rin dahil may mga charging port na ready to use agad at crash bars for protection of the bike in case of a fall. At mounting point na rin yan para sa mga aux light. Syempre, ang makina nito ay bibigyan ko rin ng plus point sa pros ng bike na ito. Yes, 502cc on a big adventure bike may not win races as it is not the most powerful and torquey engine unit out there, but it gets the job done. It is expressway legal and it is very fuel efficient. At 23 to 25 kilometers that I got from this on mixed riding, man, that's just great. Di siya masakit sa bulsa gamitin. And for that, highly recommended ko ang motorsiklo na ito sa mga taong naghahanap ng adventure bike na masarap sa biyahe, lalo yung mga malayuan pero hindi ganun kasakit sa bulsa i-operate at i-maintain. Komportable at maporma pa. Sa mga nagsisimula ng mahumaling sa mundo ng big bikes pero ayaw ng mabibigat at sobrang lakas na mga makina, heto ang para sa inyo mga chong. So, with that said, the link to Archway Motorcycles and Benelli Cafe Makati is on the link on the description of this video. Feel free to shoot them a message for your inquiries or to drop by their very cozy showrooms para ma-check nyo na rin ang iba pang mga units nila. Their highly knowledgeable people would be glad to assist you on your Benelli purchase. Sigurado yan. Paano mga chong? I hope you guys like this video and make sure to like and subscribe for more. This has been your Garage King PH. You ride safe out there. Ciao.